These days, it can be hard to trust the media. What's true, what's fake, and who is behind the message? I'm a freelance journalist and videographer who has spent years studying the media. Now I'm taking a look at what local, regional, and national news stories mean to us here in North Central Washington. I'm Dominick Bonny, and this is Common Sense. Hello and welcome to Common Sense. I'm Dominick Bonny, and in this episode, we're going to be taking a look at a local nonprofit organization that partners with the Wenatchee School District's nutrition services to make sure that no kid goes hungry during the summer because there was a total lack of access to nutrition. Together, Small Miracles and the WSD Nutrition Services folks feed about 500 kids during the summer on weekdays, and it takes a small army of volunteers to spread out and distribute these sack lunches in parks from Cashmere to Wenatchee to East Wenatchee and Rock Island. We'll hear from Linda Belton, the executive director of this program, as well as a couple of the volunteers who show up and serve kids in order to make sure their basic needs are met. It's a noble thing to do, spending some of your time serving kids, because most of them really need a nutritious meal, and the need is great. Staffing 26 locations every day takes a large team of volunteers. Sometimes Linda has a hard time making sure every location is covered, but she always seems to make it work, from what I can tell in my 4 years of watching this amazing organization at work in our community. I say all of this to drive home the point that there are productive ways to serve our kids in this community who actually need the help. Because lately we've seen a small but very vocal group of anti-vax, anti-mask zealots crop up locally to caterwaul about kids wearing masks, as if that is the most pressing issue at hand. I'm not going to spend too much time debunking their claims and positions of this small group of individuals who are making a pretty good attempt at becoming our local disinformation dozen, because for those folks, facts and data don't really matter as much as their ability to parrot talking points gleaned from internet shysters, hawking debunked therapeutics and placebo supplements, and it's only matched by their apparent inability to think critically. Just this week, they had a pop-up petition signing event in Cashmere that I thought about checking out for a fleeting instant, but then I said, nah, why cover a sideshow and give a microphone to these people? A gathering of these people at a public park is about as newsworthy as a gaggle of pigeons at that same park. However, what is newsworthy is the fact that some of these folks organized a troll storm to invade and overtake a local health board district meeting on July 19th. According to one local community member who regularly attends these meetings, she was surprised to see about 140 individuals jump on a board meeting Zoom call that is usually ignored by most people in this community. During the meeting, the newcomers made it clear that they were from the Unmask Our Kids crew, but what is not clear is if all of them were actually locals. A quick search for the hashtag Unmask Our Kids on Instagram or Twitter will show anyone who is curious enough that this Unmask Our Kids, quote, movement is not organic. There are Unmask Our Kids IG accounts for just about every state and a great many counties, so it's not unreasonable to assume that a few radicals in our local Unmask group coordinated with their ilk from other states via Facebook groups or more likely Telegram chats to disrupt and confuse our local elected officials during an important meeting where they were about to make decisions on behalf of citizens they represent, us, you and me. It was so disruptive that Dan Sutton, the chairman and leader of the meeting, at one point apologized for not paying attention and said he was distracted by the chat thread. That was a public meeting, which means I can get the full transcript and post it in the source notes for this episode online, which I will do. But it also means that a horde of trolls, many of whom are probably not members of this community, were able to disrupt a meeting where local leaders hear and then make important decisions that affect you, me, and our kids, our families. Who cares about what Joe or Jane Blow from Wichita, Kansas, or Bucksnout, Iowa have to say about us here in North Central Washington? But at the end of the meeting, the county commissioners Sutton and Straub thanked the trolls who had invaded the Zoom call and urged them to reach out because they believe in parents' choice over their children's health, as they said. I'm sure that was affirmation meant for the voters who elected them and not the random people from other communities who support extremist points of view, because I cannot believe that men of integrity like these would be so shady as to encourage others to invite random people from outside this community to join an official public meeting and bully their fellow elected officials, public health officers, and local citizens. Even if they knew about a plan like that and tacitly encouraged it, that would make them unworthy of the offices they hold. I mean, that would be an indicator that they might care more about a national or political agenda than the community and the citizens they were elected to serve. But is that in character for these two men who were elected to serve the community? I don't know. I'm just asking questions. And I think I will keep asking questions in the coming weeks and months about this issue. But for now, I want to focus on a group of people who are actually working to save the children. They're not saving them by throwing infantile fits about masks, but rather by putting nutritious food in their bellies on the daily. It's a program called Small Miracles, and it's a public-private partnership between our school district and an amazing local nonprofit organization headed up by a lady named Linda Belton, who I admire a lot. Here's why.
Well, good morning. My name is Linda Belton. I'm the Executive Director of Small Miracles. We are this year celebrating our 10th anniversary as a local nonprofit, and what we do is we feed hungry kids. And we're at Foothills. We're at the calm before the storm, waiting for all the volunteers to come and pick up their food that will go to 16 different sites right now. And we are excited to feed the kids and to let them know that they are loved and taken care of. And it's just a wonderful experience. Right now we're feeding between 400 and 500 kids a day. And meals, 400 to 500 kids a day. That's double that as we serve breakfast and lunch. So that's about 1,000 meals a day. Well, the kids who are on free and reduced lunch during the school year, they get the food that they need. But when school is not in session, in many cases, children go without. And especially during this time with the pandemic and everything that's going on and people not having jobs, and it's just a real blessing that we step in when the school is not in session and we make sure that all kids have food to eat. They should be worrying about summer and having fun, not worrying about where they're going to get their next meal. Throughout the years, I've worked at the food banks, and I've worked at, been involved with families and different families that just didn't have anything and that really needed help. And that gave me the idea. And one of my, at my previous job, my boss asked me if I could do anything in the world, what would it be? And I said I'd start a nonprofit and I'd take care of the kids. And he said, why don't you do that? So I did. And we, during this 10th year, we're topping over about 175,000 meals that we've served. Well, we're looking to just always improve, always expand, always make sure that we're everywhere that the kids can get to. Mainly our base of kids are elementary school kids, and they walk to the different locations. So we make sure that our locations are such that that's easy for them to do and easy for them to get back home. Well, I just want to say thank you to the community. This is, without our volunteers, we wouldn't have a program. And I just want to say a big thank you to them and a thank you to our staff. The guys in the kitchen just work feverishly every day to make sure that everything is ready. So when the volunteers come, all they have to do is drive up, they're loaded up, and they're on their way. And I just can't thank them and the community enough for the support and the love that they've shown over the last 10 years for our program. Well, there's two things that we have found that has worked really well. One is we ask people for an hour of their time. If you can spare an hour, we could certainly use some help. And an hour is what it takes to serve the kids and change a child's life forever. And the second thing is that families serve together. So we have a lot of families that come and they bring their kids and they serve too, and they see some of their pals from school, and it's just a wonderful experience. We keep it happy, upbeat, and everything is super cool at the Small Miracles lunch sites.
Small Miracles is a summer food program, and we serve lunches to kids during the summer who depend on food through the school, on free reduced lunches through the school year, but that option isn't available during the summer, so we pick up where they leave off. Well, it's quite a big process actually. There's a lot of paperwork on Linda's part, and then she also does a lot of she figures out how to get all the volunteers, because we're volunteer based. All the people who serve at all the locations are all volunteers. And then we also have we have two other sets of staff. One of the staff comes in early in the morning and prepares all the food, makes it, bags it up in lunches. And then my team puts all the food in the coolers and the milk in the coolers and makes sure everything stays cold. And we make sure that everything is all organized and efficient when volunteers come to pick up and drop off. We need to make sure that things are easy for volunteers to understand. So that means eliminating as much confusion as possible. So make sure everything is labeled, make sure everything is ready for them so they don't have any questions. If they do have any questions, answer them on the spot and make sure to solve any problems as they come rather than waiting for them. Otherwise, you'll get confused and you'll really find yourself in trouble later. Growing up, I was part of the demographic that was on free and reduced lunch. I didn't always have food all the time, so it wasn't easy. So I was actually introduced to this program through another youth group that I was part of doing community service. And I wanted to help because I was like helping my brothers and sisters, all the other people who were just like me and didn't have food all the time, or wasn't sure where they were gonna get it. So it's really personal to me, actually. It humbles you. It makes you know that you are doing something that matters. And it's not like I'm doing something for other people because, haha, I'm better than you, I can do this. It's because I'm here with you and I'm gonna help you because I understand and I empathize with you. Well, we are definitely growing. I first started here 5 years ago, and we had probably just as many, a bit fewer sites than we do now, but we've expanded quite a bit, and our numbers are growing, and it's really cool to see how everything's coming together. We've picked up at Lee, we serve about 35 to 40 lunches every day. At Washington is another popular place, about 20 lunches. We take care of the YMCA programs. We take care of, we go all the way out to Kashmir. We go all the way out to Rock Island. We really take care of the valley as much as we can.
Stay tuned after the break for more.
Hi folks, welcome to Save Mart. How can we help you today?
We're looking for a recliner.
Okay, right this way. Go ahead and move this chase on the other side. You can just lifetime warranty.
Great, I want that one. I would like that one.
That's a great choice.
And I want this one as well.
Okay.
And I definitely want this one.
You'll find it at Save Mart. Full service at a low, low price.
Your search for quality patio furniture with excellent customer service is over. Blue Lagoon is proud to offer only the finest outdoor furniture and accessories from some of the most renowned manufacturers in the industry. Our showroom showcases a large selection of in-stock furniture, fire pits, umbrellas, cushions, and outdoor accessories. Our in-house outdoor decor specialist is available to help you design and custom order the perfect furniture for your unique space.
I'm John Divis from Wenatchee Dental Arts, and I like to think myself as a comprehensive dentist. We are an office that treats people comprehensively for their dental problems. We do a lot of general dentistry in a broad sense. We don't send everything out. Things that we have the ability to do in the office, we like to keep in the office and under one roof and keep things as complication-free as possible. You can come to one place and have all their dental needs taken care of.
At D.A. Davidson in Wenatchee, they believe your investment success begins with a personalized plan. A plan that is the roadmap you need to navigate your way to living your best years in retirement. D.A. Davidson can help you create a plan so you can take the time to enjoy the finer things in life. Let the financial advisors at D.A. Davidson help chart your retirement future today.
Welcome back. Let's get right back to my coverage of Small Miracles, learn more about how they do, what they do, and meet two of the volunteers who make the whole thing work.
Mike Holliday, and I've been volunteering for 4 years. This will be our 4th year of volunteering for Small Miracles, and enjoying it all.
That's great.
Yeah.
And I'm Carol Holliday.
That's awesome.
Husband-wife team.
Yes.
Yes.
And you've been volunteering together for 4 years?
Together, yes.
That's great.
Unless they have a need, and then we separate and do one site for the entire time, like we did yesterday at Washington.
I see.
Yeah.
That's great. So what made you want to volunteer with Small Miracles?
Do you want to start? Our church, Sage Hills, sponsored a site the first year the Small Miracle that we volunteered for Small Miracles at Lewis and Clark, and so we came on board through Sage Hills as volunteers for the church.
Great.
Yeah.
And can you speak to maybe the experience, the volunteer experience? What's that like? What's the organization like, and the systems that are in place?
Well, we really enjoy volunteering for Small Miracles, and they are really organized. So when we get there and they load our car, and we've had training so we know exactly what to do when we get to the site, what the rules are, what the yes and no's are that we should do, when to start, when to stop, and it's all organized nicely. And so our coolers are packed. We don't have to touch the food. We just set it out the sacks and the milk, and it's very organized, and we really enjoy it.
That's great.
It's easy. It's very easy to do.
And would you recommend this to other people who are looking to volunteer in the community?
Definitely, yeah. It's a 2-hour commitment, or you can do it in 1-hour shifts, so it works really well for a person's schedule. And we don't do it every day, just when we can and when we're in town, and so it's flexible.
That's great.
Yeah.
And do you have grandkids? Do you bring kids with you? I know that that's a part of kind of the perk, is that people with kids or families can do this together.
Yes, we have a granddaughter, Avery, that we brought with us last week to Washington. She enjoyed it immensely. In fact, there were 2 little kids there that were cousins that came with their grandpa. And she said that just being able to talk with them, because they stayed for about 5 minutes and chatted and told us how excited they were to be able to receive the meals. And she said that just made her day, so she really enjoyed it. The training is just online for, half an hour maybe at the most, maybe 20 minutes.
And the first one that we had might have been a little bit longer. 4 years ago, it's kind of hard to remember.
Yeah.
But that was before COVID, so this year we did it via Zoom.
Right.
And it was just 20 minutes.
I see.
Yeah.
And do you have to have your food handler's permit?
No, that's one of the beauties, because all of the food is pre-packed. The lunches contain a meat product or a meat substitute, and they have a grain, they have a fruit, they have a vegetable, and milk. And so all of those things are placed in the bag. No hands touch the actual food processing.
We're not putting lunches together, which is nice.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. That is one of the beauties
Yeah.
of it. I mean, it's really a pretty ingenious system. I know that Linda got this idea from another organization, but boy, she really, I asked her too, what's the future, because it's like when she's wants to be done with this, she's really the middle of the wheel, and all the spokes go out from there. So, and it's such a great program.
Yep. Yeah. And Linda is the face of Small Miracles, and she works with a board, but she is the one that really knows everything to do and how to get things moving and how to get people involved. So she really is the cog in the machine.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, is there anything else that you'd like the community to know about your involvement with Small Miracles that we didn't cover?
I just would say it's we hope that other people join, because it's just a blessing to be able to do. And to see the kids and see the need. There is a need that you don't realize during the summer. So it's been kind of eye-opening for us, I think, just to see that need. And that they are so appreciative, the people that come.
Yeah, it's hard. It's things like this and volunteering that I think build empathy. That, you know, and it's no fault of our own, but if you don't take opportunities like this to connect with people who are in different stratospheres of society, you maybe just don't even realize how many kids are actually might be hungry in the summertime if there wasn't a program like this, or other, you know, food assistance and food banks. Serve Wenatchee does a great job, but if you don't take that opportunity, and if you've never come from that background, you don't realize that, boy, you know, what would it be like to be a kid opening the refrigerator and not having anything there? You know?
For some of the kids that come here, not just here, but to Small Miracles, for some of those kids, it's really the only nutritious meal that they are served or that they receive during a day, and that's why they try to have those 5 components in the meal, because it may be the only meal that they get. And you know what happens to you and I when we get hungry. You know, our attitude, angry. Our attitudes change. You know, we're just not the same person. So trying to just help these kids, you know, make it through a day in a normal way.
And the doubling up of two in one, that's really great too. I mean, because we were just interviewing Linda, she said, you know, about 500 kids, but that's about 1,000 meals. You know?
Well, and it's also the great things about Small Miracles. It's not, it's for any child. So we've had moms that are from, you know, they're on their way somewhere, and they're like, oh, you know, lunches, and you know, there's no. It's not on a needs-based, economic needs-based. It's more of just a needs-based for lunch and a good lunch. And it's also breakfast, lunch right now together.
Yeah, your job isn't to check paperwork and make sure people are qualifying.
They just come.
They come and they get.
And they know that they can get a nourishing meal, so that's cool.
We were here last week, and there was a gal from Ellensburg that had come over to bring her kids and use the park here. And she was on her way back, and they hadn't eaten, and so she got meals for the kids that were with her. There were 4 kids with her, and they were able to eat on the way back. So it really works well.
I want to recognize and celebrate people like Linda, Ezekiel, and Mike and Carol Holliday. For 10 years now, Linda and her team of mostly volunteers have been working and growing this program to serve some of the most vulnerable children in our communities. And it's a great example of a successful public-private partnership. I think it's important to recognize, celebrate, and give our attention and support to people like Linda and Small Miracles. And it's just as important to ignore or lampoon sideshows like the Unmask Our Kids WA people who merely want to use kids to further their political agendas. You see, our kids, my kids, your kids, are not pawns to be used in a political game, but many people treat them like that. It's a tactic that echoes what the QAnon movement has employed over the last few years. It's not hard to win an argument when your side is standing up for kids and you're making it seem like the other side wants to eat them, literally. But it's a morally bankrupt strategy because nothing is that black and white. There are no pure heroes or completely evil villains. I mean, there are, but people who fit either of those descriptions are few and far between. What's much more common is that we, all of us, are a little bit of both. And most of us are just doing the best we can with the time we have. So not only is using children to further your political agenda cowardly and immoral, it also reveals how little regard you actually have for children and their needs. Because if you truly cared about them, you would be involved with organizations like Small Miracles and not spending your time pestering local officials and disrupting public meetings. I have been fortunate enough to get to know Linda Belton, and my own wife and kids have volunteered in the past to serve local kids lunches in parks. It's a relatively small commitment that pays off big dividends, and it's something you can do with your kids that will get them started on the right path when it comes to giving back. Because it's important to model behavior for the next generation and show them how good, productive adults act. That is why I want to celebrate Linda and all her volunteers and hold them up as a contrast to these Unmask Our Kids people, because the difference is stark. If you'd like to be a productive member of our community and get involved with Small Miracles, I encourage you to do so. Their season this year is almost complete, but they will be back at it next summer, and I'm sure they can use all the help they can get. Just go to smallmiraclesncw.org and you can find more information there on how to donate your time or even sponsor a location. Small Miracles and their partnership with the Wenatchee School District is the real deal and the star of the show. And the other thing is merely a sideshow being pushed on our community by a few individuals that might benefit from taking a few big breaths, which you can accomplish in a mask, by the way, a good brisk hike, and maybe a little sit down with a mental health professional. And I'm not saying that to be glib, I'm serious. This whole COVID debacle has brought a lot to the surface in our society. And one of the things I think we can all recognize is that taking care of your mental health is incredibly important. So if you find yourself obsessing over kids wearing masks, getting angry about that and lashing out at other people over it, maybe ask yourself if there's a better use of your time and consider talking to somebody who is qualified to guide you through a process of anger management and self-reflection. Because it looks like masks are going to be a part of our lives for the foreseeable future, which is the obvious consequence of not enough people getting vaccinated. I've included some links in the show notes to mental health resources, as well as Small Miracles' website and a few other Easter eggs that you might want to check out. So go to ncwlife.com and find Common Sense under the Full Episodes tab for more information. That's all from me for this episode. Join me next time for more Common Sense.
Are you a take charge kind of person? Consider a career as a health unit coordinator. You'll work to keep health facilities running efficiently by coordinating medical providers, patients, and departments. The Charter College Certificate in Health Unit Coordinator program can get you up to speed on basic patient care, health records management, health and safety procedures, and medical billing. And the 10-month online program includes a computer you keep. Get started at chartercollege.edu, where we work to get you to work.
Hi, I'm Chuck Dronan, Managing Member at Eplodolin Retirement and Assisted Living. It's been a tough year for all of us, but especially for those working and living in senior care facilities. Over the course of these many difficult months, our staff at Eplodolin has been vigilant in adhering to federal and state guidelines to protect and assure the safety of our residents and their caregivers. If you're in need of assisted living for a loved one, give us a call at Eplodolin. We're here for you.
Our experience with NCWLIFE has been amazing.
People think television and they think it's this huge production thing. It's really expensive.
It's crazy how affordable it is. I couldn't believe it.
It's not as expensive as we thought it was going to be.
I would say I was really surprised to see that it was actually comparable to radio ads or print media.
It was really affordable.
Flooring is the foundation of decorating. It sets the tone for your home and reflects your lifestyle. At Apple Valley Floors to Go, their goal is to help you make that choice a great experience. You'll find extensive flooring options at their beautiful East Wenatchee showroom. Engineered hardwoods, laminates, vinyl planks, carpeting. Do it yourself or have their professional installation team do the work for you. Family owned and operated in East Wenatchee.